talking about velocity of money and state tax primarily this time. I'm just thinking about some things and how much state tax is involved as far as sales tax, I should say. How much sales tax is involved in everything, let alone the stuff behind the scenes with businesses and purchasing products to pay for business stuff or business operations, or whatever the case may be. I'm just talking average person. So I got a question here. I mean, if you're going to the store and an item costs $1 and you give them $1, you're like, here, this is how much the item says, whatever the item is, a candy bar or whatever the case may be, $1, here's your $1. They say, I cannot accept this unless you give me, I'll just do an average amount for sales tax, unless you give me $1.07. Well, why is that? Well, 7 cents is the sales tax. The state sales tax is 7 cents. But you said it's $1, so I would like you to purchase it for $1. Yes, but you need to add 7 cents on top of that for the sales tax. Well, what is a sales tax? Well, a sales tax is the government trying to get involved in every operation, every exchange, every purchase, sale, everything you do between yourself and a business, yourself and another private party, business to business. They want to be involved in that. Not on a small level, on every level possible. Why? Well, that's what government does. They take and they take and they take some more. And after that, they'll take again. So this item that's $1, well, I'm agreeing to pay for it, and I'm agreeing that that's the value of it, and I want it, so I'm going to pay $1. But because of the government, they say you can buy that thing for $1. You give $1, but you have to take the 7 cents, whether it's a nickel and 2 pennies. You need to take these, and you need to give them to the business, or whatever the case may be, whatever the circumstance. So then, once they're done, they can keep tally of that, track of that for us, the state. We don't do anything. We make the businesses or the private person or whatever keep tally of the stuff, the sales tax. And once their tax is due, once their business taxes are due, that kind of stuff, then you report this to us, and then they give us the 7 cents from the $1 that you just made, you just earned as a business. You need to give us 7 cents of that. Why? Well, because we said so. Did a state offer anything? Is there any sort of service they offer? Is there any backing they offer? Is there anything they do at all to make that justifiable? Absolutely not. So if you think about that, I got an item's $5. Well, I want to purchase the item for $5. The same story. Well, it's not $5 really. It's going to cost you $5 and 35 cents, because the state wants 35 cents. State wants 35 cents just because you're having a transaction with a business or a person or whatever. We just go down the line. So if it's $10, the state says you can do this. You can, exchange. You can go into business with this person. You can sell it for $10, but you have to take 70 cents from him. Tell him he needs to pay 70 cents that you're going to give to us of sales tax. Why? Well, because of the things I just told you. And you just go down the line. It gets larger. So if it's a $20 item, the thing costs $20. It says that. It's $20. Well, I want to pay $20 for this thing. I want to pay you $20. That's what it's worth. Well, you can't do that unless you give me another $1 and 40 cents. So that would be 2 dimes, a quarter, a dime, and a nickel. You have to give me this and this here, so we can keep track of it and give it to the state, just because of the service that they are not providing, but they're taking $1.40 from us because you purchased something for $20. I mean, it gets bigger. So this item here that you want to purchase is $100. Well, here's my $100. I want to give you this $100. I want to give this to you. I want to buy that item you're selling for $100. Here's my $100. Well, you can't do that. You can't do that unless you give me $7. You give me $7 more. So then us as a business are going to keep track of that $7 for this 100 item sale that we had. We'll keep track of that along with all the other sales that we've had, and we will pay the state. We'll give it to the state. Pay it back to the state. And the state will be happy, and we've lost nothing as a business, really, but the consumer has, because prices that we have listed are above and beyond with the sales tax that's involved. Why do I talk about this? Because it's a huge deal. I mean, like the $100, once something costs $100, that's a $7 sales tax on top of that. Well, you just extrapolate that. It just gets larger and larger. If you go to the thousands or, multiple thousands. Because the state says so. That's why. The state says so. The state says that's what needs to be done. They're not offering the service. They're not doing anything. You're not getting anything from it. You're getting no benefit from it. But the state says so. And they try to justify it by roads and fixing roads and, all the other stuff they're trying to justify it. And that's how they justify the gas tax. And that's how they justify other taxes. And that's not the case. That's really not the case, in my opinion. So velocity money is exchanging hands. So if you think about it, if this single dollar here that you spent, and you had to pay 7 cents tax on it, you spent this dollar, and you give it to the business pays it out for change for someone else. So the dollar is spent again, and then that person grabs that dollar and spends it for another service. So on and so forth, and then that service, that business, gives a dollar back for change, or maybe the employee there grabs it from one of his paychecks, and then he spends that same dollar. So the same dollar, if the same dollar is spent 14 times, that's all it takes. It's 14 times to be spent until it equals how much tax has been paid on it. So 14 times this has been used for multiple things. Pretty much there's almost been $1 tax on just this bill being used 14 times. I don't know if that makes sense or not, so just saying this 14 times, the velocity of this bill being spent around 14 times from person to person, whether it's a pizza delivery person, tips at some sort of restaurant, or it's just paid to a business like I spoke about. This same bill is used 14 times, so after the 14th time, it already has had $1 worth of tax on it that the state has made off of it in sales tax. It only takes 14 times. Do you think this single dollar will be used more than 14 times in its life? Absolutely. So think about that when it comes to taxes and sales tax. Who really is making on this whole deal? It's not you and I. Why do you need to pay the state to purchase, to have an exchange between you and I, or myself and a business, or a business of business? Why does that need to be there? Well, because the state says so. That's just the way it is. No explanation, nothing. They say they need money, they need revenue, and this is how we're going to get it, along with all the other ones that 100 taxes, whatever the case may be, whatever they have. And I'm sure it's a lot more than that of the head-em fees. So I believe that this is also another reason that this major push to digital currency is. Because if someone has a garage sale or someone sells items, I don't think the state's happy about the fact that they may not get any sort of sales tax off of that exchange. Well, once they go digital, absolutely the state's going to be in charge of that, because they know what you're buying or what you're selling, who it's went to, who's got it, and then they can just say, hey, we've seen this. So either they can tell you and say you owe this, or I'm guessing, it'd be a lot easier if they just take it. You had a dollar item that you sold to George down the road. Well, you gave him $1, you transferred in there. All of a sudden, Well, he gave $1. He transferred the $1 into your account. And so he's $1 less. Because of that, in fairness, to make both parties seem like they're getting a deal, he paid $1, 3.5 cents. So he paid $1 to you and 3.5 cents went to the state. From that, you didn't get a full $1 from him. You got the difference. You got 96.5 cents. Because the other 3.5 cents that Georgia would have given you, the state took. If they want to split it evenly or keep it like it is, they would just take $1.07 out of Georgia's account. $1 would go to your account, and they would just take 7 cents off the top. I absolutely foresee that happening. I absolutely foresee that happening when it comes to, paying your income taxes. There's no reason they wouldn't do that. They've already had the businesses taking it out, doing the work for them. Back in the old days, they used to give you a statement. You used to have to pay it, whether you want to pay it quarterly or annually or whatever. You used to have to pay that. So people sat down and they actually saw, this is all the stuff I'm paying. Then they started to question, well, why am I paying all this? What's it going towards? Why are all these taxes necessary? They started questioning. Well, then the government, Federal Reserve, which is not part of the government, got smart. And they're like, we're just going to tell the employers they have to withhold. They have to pull this tax out of your account. Then they'll send us the money. And then afterwards, when tax time comes, you're going to get a refund if you overpaid. Well, everyone likes a refund, so who would be? Otherwise, if you're a large business, it doesn't work like that. It works the way it used to. You have to pay quarterly. And then tidy up, at the year mark, before tax time, April 15th, you have to have everything paid up, said and done. That's the way it was for everyone, for personal parties, for people. And then they changed it with the employers. Same with the whole health insurance realm and that kind of stuff. I'll get into that with another video, but I just wanted to get this out there. I know everyone knows about sales tax. I just think it's ridiculous. And I just wanted to do a little show and tell to say, think about it. Think about it, and then think about it again. How can we get out of this? How can you do the best for yourself to keep what is truly yours? So just think about that. As always, thanks for watching. Stay vigilant. Protect yourself, protect your health, protect your wealth.